rare adventures of Biggles.
Biggles and Bertie are captured and accused of spying by Kowalski, the Russian commandant of the Chinese aerodrome. He has them locked in a hut until he makes contact with the Chinese authorities at Tunhuang. The situation at the oasis of Nanhu is a little better, but Ginge receives bad news from Ming, the Buddhist priest, who had been sent to the town to learn the fate of the imprisoned missionaries. Ming reports that though some of the prisoners are still alive, they are to be transferred to Siberia immediately. Ginger's hopes of rescuing them seem dashed, but he and Henrik Ritson hurry into the caves to report the matter to Algy.
Let me get this story straight. I'm a bit muddled about some of the things that happened while I was ill.
Well, the missionaries are those friends of mine who were captured when Ma Chang and his soldiers first attacked the Kyrgyz in the oasis.
I told you about it, Algy. It happened before we came here. Henrik and a few of the others were hiding, but the remainder were carried off to Tunhuang.
That's right. It was our old pal, the Tiger, the bloke you had an argument with this morning.
Just for that incident alone, I'd like to have a crack at him.
Wouldn't we all? Ming says the prisoners are still alive.
Oh, some are. He didn't wait for fuller details. Rightly, he considered the most important news was that they are to be moved from Tunhuang tonight.
To Siberia?
That is the opinion of them in the town. They are to be taken first to Ansi. That is a big town on the Red Highway. Almost certainly they will be handed over to the Russians there to be transported to Siberia.
If that happens, they'll never be seen again. You know what happens in Siberia?
I don't, but I've read quite a bit about it. I suppose some of it's true.
Well, I think we may believe that they will be made slave laborers there. Certainly they will never be released.
And when are they going?
Tonight. That is to say, they will start soon after midnight, which is the usual time for starting a journey in this part of the world.
We just needed news like this to round off a really pleasant day.
It is most disheartening. I confess I had always held a slight hope that we may rescue them.
It's out of the question now. We'll never be able to do it tonight.
Why not, Algy?
Oh, be your age, Ginge. Who have we got who could make up a rescue party?
Well, I could go.
I'm sure you'd do darned well, Henrik, but you're a missionary. You're not a fighting man.
I'm available, aren't I?
But you're only one, Ginge. Even if I could go with you, I'd be inclined to give it a fly. But I'm afraid I'd be cracking foolhardy if I did.
No, you cannot go. You are not sufficiently well.
Oh, I'd like to. But I feel my main duty is to those of you here in the oasis. I daren't risk anything more happening to me by going out on a crack-brained stunt like this.
I could do it alone, Algy. We've pulled off plenty of crack-brained stunts before, haven't we?
I know we have. But we've also missed on a couple.
No, that is impossible, Ginger. The town is completely Chinese. A European would be noticed at once.
I could disguise myself.
That doesn't often work, Ginge.
Anyway, I needn't be completely alone. I don't know the way, for one thing. I'd take Ming with me as a guide.
How many soldiers are stationed there, Henrik?
Well, I don't know. Several hundreds. Perhaps even 1,000 or more.
That answers that one, Ginge.
You know, Algy's right, I'm afraid. The position is hopeless.
You wait till you meet our chief. Biggles would tell you that nothing is ever hopeless.
Yes, but how could you do it, Ginger? Tunhuang is more than 20 miles from here. It would take you most of the night to walk there.
Oh, forget it, Ginge. I'd like to rescue them too, but it can't be done.
I think it can. And there's no need for us to walk either.
How else could you go? There's no kite here.
There are horses.
The Kyrgyz horses.
Those and the nags belonging to the soldiers who were killed. They'll all be fresh by nightfall.
All right, you could ride to Tunhuang, but when you arrive there, Ming could show you around. But you've no way of dragging a team of prisoners from 1,000 soldiers.
They aren't likely to send the entire army as escort with the prisoners, are they?
What are you getting at?
An idea. Henrik, how are they likely to travel from Tunhuang to Ansi? What's the usual conveyance in this part of the world?
Well, covered carts, as a rule. I imagine they will travel that way. You see, there are not proper roads near Tunhuang.
A covered cart with a small escort of soldiers. No reason for them to send a large escort, is there?
Well, no, I suppose not. There is little chance of the prisoners escaping. But a few soldiers would be sent to guard against possible attacks by the Kyrgyz.
That's what I'm getting at. The biggest danger to their setup would be an attack by the Kyrgyz.
Yes, but how does that help us?
I think I can follow his crazy scheme. You think we should stage a Kyrgyz attack?
Why not? There's a team of Kyrgyz here in the oasis now. We've given them food, and they look on us as their friends. Why shouldn't we ask them to help us?
Those desperate men? Oh, no, Ginger. The Kyrgyz never work for anyone but themselves. They are outlaws, savages.
Just what we need. And I've yet to find an outlaw who won't accept hard cash.
But we have no money to give them.
Well, don't worry on that score. The English government will pay anything we need. We'll have to promise that we'll fly back here and drop the money when this stunt's over.
You think it's a good scheme, Algy?
It's quite lunatic, Ginge, but it's the only one that'll work.
Oh, I don't feel we can rely on the Kyrgyz.
We'll have to, Henrik. What do they use for money out here?
Well, the most common coin is a lump of silver called a tael. A tael is worth something less than 2 English shillings.
Wait a minute. 1,000 taels would be about 125 pounds.
Oh, roughly, yes.
How would that amount interest the Kyrgyz?
It would be a fortune to them. Here, men work all the hours of daylight for about a penny a day.
Right. Go ahead with your plan, Ginge. Henrik can offer the Kyrgyz 1,000 taels if they carry the job through faithfully. If they agree, go out with them and take Ming as guide and interpreter.
But wait. What exactly do you propose to do?
Ambush the convoy. Ming can lead us to a place on the road to Ansi, and we'll hide there, a little before the carts are due to pass. The Kyrgyz can do the rest. Do you agree with that, Algy?
Completely. Get weaving, Henrik. See the Kyrgyz and talk them into it.
I have spoken with them, Ginger.
What did they say?
They will go.
You beauty!
It was the 1,000 taels that persuaded them, although they were already intrigued by the prospect of a fight.
Did you tell them that Ming and I are going to?
Yes, and they prefer it that way. It proves our good faith.
Oh, good. Well, they needn't worry about that.
I think we can trust them. They have asked me to hold their wounded comrade here until they come back. So, in effect, there are hostages on both sides.
Oh, don't put it that way. We're on the same side.
Well, one can never be sure of the Kyrgyz, Ginger.
I'll trust them. Now it's just a matter of waiting till nightfall. Looks as if there's going to be some fireworks in the Gobi Desert tonight.
You aren't going to sleep over there, are you, buddy?
Well, the old noddle was nodding somewhat, old trout. I mean to say one usually sleeps during the jolly old hours of darkness, what?
Not when one's in a spot like this.
Oh, more so, we Ulysses would say. We're locked in the blooming hut with no possible way of getting out, so we might as well relax. Dash it all, old bean, if the belly axe is going to fall, it's going to fall. No point in losing sleep about it.
No axe is going to fall on my neck. We are both going to keep alert for a chance to escape.
My dear old bean, when that chance waffles along, you can just give us Ulysses a whistle. We'll grab it. But in the meantime, we're going to snooze.
Someone coming.
I say, maybe the jolly old chance, what?
Maybe. Be ready for it. Stand by. It's Kubalski.
What ho, Kowalski, old sausage? Welcome to our humble abode. Sorry it isn't more comfortable, but it's all the management would provide.
Keep her held back. I'm switching on the lights, so there will be no tricks.
I hope you've come to tell us we are free, Kubalski.
On the contrary, my suspicions about you have been proved right.
Proved right? How could they be?
I have made radio contact with Tun Wang. Colonel Ma Chang, who is in charge of the garrison there, gave me some interesting information.
Not about us.
It concerns you.
But sizzling sausages, old bean. This Mother Chalk Blighters never had the pleasure of meeting us.
He has met your companion.
What's that?
So, you are startled when you hear that. What is your business at the oasis of Nanhu?
Nan who?
Nanhu,
Well, I don't know the old darling. You tell me.
what are you talking about?
This Nan female. Ulysses had a dear old aunt once, but she preferred to be called Annie.
Imbecile. I refer to an oasis.
You say it's to do with a companion of ours?
Ma Chang found an Englishman there. Obviously, it's connected with you. It would be too much coincidence for 2 parties of English to be wandering about this part of China.
Oh, Oh, there are thousands of us, old sausage. We had morning tea with a dozen or so about 10 miles from here.
Tell us more about this fellow. Where is he now?
Ma Chang did not say, but he insists that you be sent to Tun Wang for questioning. I am to fly you there in the morning.
Oh, that's very decent of you. I had a nasty feeling we'd have to walk.
I have not sufficient men to guard you. You will travel by aircraft.
Oh, you must be very short of blokes here. I can't even see a guard through the open door.
Sizzling sausages.
There is no need for sentries here. The hut will be locked when I leave you. And even if you did break away from it, you would not go far. Without water, you would not survive in the desert. Do not forget that I have taken your water bottles from you.
Still, it's very comforting to flap the old orb through an open door and see no one flapping back.
You remember the chance I mentioned, Bertie?
Yes, I remember, old bean. And we lissies are now wide awake.
What is the talk? Stand back, both of you. I will shoot if you try to escape.
Who mentioned escape, old man? Bertie, this light's hurting my eyes. You're near the switch.
No!
Out with it, Bertie! I'll get Kowalski!
Bertie plunges the hut into darkness as Biggles leaps for the Russian. Will their escape bid succeed? And what lies ahead of Ginger with the wild desert ambush he has planned? Don't miss the thrills in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.